Thieves often break into your car when they run into valuable things, like your cell phone. Between Tuesday and Wednesday, at least 14 cars got broken into. When firefighters enter a building as smoky as this one, the only way they can see you is through a thermal imaging camera. After a 2-hour meeting, the school board came back and announced the acceptance of the resignation of the superintendent. Coming up tonight, I'll introduce you to the first woman in 2 decades to be promoted in the investigative unit at the Brazos County Sheriff's Office. Police say if the new bill passes, the only way you can text is if you're stopped at a stoplight. Tomorrow, Texas A&M students will participate in the 35th annual big event. More than 20,000 students will volunteer in the community for the day.
We all went into tornado position where you cover your head.
Jolie Swick and her family say strong winds are the reason their home is no longer attached to their front porch.
So it starts shaking and then it stopped, and then we thought it was a tornado, so we all got in the hall and we all started getting down.
The sisters say at the time they didn't know it, but they were trapped inside.
Actually, the steps furthest away, we were actually trapped in.
Inside. We had to climb through the window on the far side to get out.
Firefighter Keith Ricada got called out at 1:30 in the morning on Monday, and he was out checking on families.
We've seen roofs torn off of buildings. We've seen huge trees down everywhere, 4 or 5 foot diameter trees, barns demolished.
You're gonna have to have a big track hoe to pick that thing up.
And although the National Weather Service says it wasn't technically a tornado, the intense winds had all first responders on deck.
The way the trees look, the way the trees are twisted, it looked like a weed eater clipped the top of the trees.
Norbert Snyder's barn used to be here. Now bits and pieces of the metal frame are scattered all over Vermont.
He looked over and he said, "You hadn't got no barn," and I was in a bed.
And while Snyder slept, Ricada and his team automatically went into response mode.
I'm lucky because it was just broken glass. My vehicle's fine. Nothing was really stolen.
Except a bag of quarters for Victor Perales' laundry. He's also out of $400 for a repair company to come out and replace his windows.
I tried to break my driver's side. They couldn't get it, so they went to the passenger and broke that one.
Around 2 a.m., Perales says he got a call from police to come outside because he and other neighbors' cars were broken into.
There was 6 other couples out here, or people, residents that were outside talking to the cops too. So I know they hit multiple vehicles. Between
Tuesday and Wednesday, police say at least 14 cars got broken into, and 2 of them happened right here on Caudell Street. And at least 8 happened at Walden Pond Apartments.
From what I can tell, they were looking for just money, and maybe all I can think is maybe prescription drugs or something.
While some were unlocked, police say most of the vehicles were actually locked, and the burglars resorted to smashing windows just to take personal property.
She was just a beautiful person, and anyone that knew her knew how sweet she was.
One by one, Navasota High School cheerleaders remembered their cheer booster president, Laura Emoff, with a word that best described her. Emoff lost her battle with cancer earlier this month, and Wednesday, dozens poured into the gymnasium to send her off the best way they knew how.
I think it's beautiful, and I'm so glad everyone is coming out to support her because she was a big supporter in the community, and she always did stuff for the cheerleaders, the football players, volleyball players, anything anyone needed.
Lisa Wells organized the event and says Emoff would have been proud.
She would say, "Go Rattlers," because she loved Navasota. She was Navasota. And I'm sure she probably said, "Hold the rain all back because there's a party for me."
And the rain did hold back, enough for a prayer over candles.
Father, we don't understand your timing all the time, but we do trust in your timing.
Dozens of blue balloons released into the sky, all for one woman who meant so much to so many.
In Navasota, we truly all grieve the loss of Laura Emoff because she touched everybody's life.
And Navasota, Tia Johnson, News 3. As you enter into the city of Hearne, you can't help but notice a new structure is making its mark in the city.
We're adding 25,600 square feet.
The new warehouse will soon be additional storage for the building products business, ECMD. And with the new facility comes at least 4 new jobs by the end of the year.
We've hired some local folks and excellent workforce, and things are going very well for us. And of course, obviously, we're experiencing growth here, so we're pleased and proud to be a part of the community.
But that growth doesn't stop at ECMD. This empty lot will soon be Chicken Express, and by spring, they plan to have 20 to 40 positions. In the last 5 months, at least 11 positions were opened and filled with a new Tractor Supply store.
You know, all these new businesses we have coming in, which makes a lot of closer jobs for people to, have in the work area here, instead of having to go to, College Station or Bryan or Waco or wherever.
Andy says these local jobs equal more local money.